Hey, how's it going? It's Sean Bradshaw from cyberfret.com, and in this lesson I want to show you kind of a soloing idea, the use of phrasing and the use of timing over backgrounds. And the two basic ideas I'm going to show you are when you're soloing, actually working within the rhythmic framework of the background that's going on, and the other one is kind of playing over top of that. All right, not playing exactly within the rhythms that are going on in the background. And kind of a way to think about this is the first way I'm going to show you playing in the grid work. I want you to think of like a piece of graph paper, and that everything you draw is kind of in a square. You don't go outside the lines. All right, and then the second way is being more freeform and playing over top of it. And they're kind of things that you want to understand both ways of playing. A lot of times when people are first learning to improvise, they're kind of playing outside of the rhythmic framework, not because they're trying to be creative, but because they can't find the rhythmic framework. And so, but I'm going to show you a couple of examples and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. So the first way I'm going to show you is I'm going to just solo over this background, and you're going to hear me kind of play all inside the rhythmic framework of the background. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is another solo, but this time I'm going to kind of play over the time. And you'll hear me kind of lock in sometimes, but I'm going to kind of overdo it where I'm just playing and kind of ignoring the rhythmic background that's going on, and I'm just kind of playing over top of it. So playing kind of inside the rhythmic framework and kind of playing over top of it is, think of that as like two different gears, something to shift in and out of. And so it's not something where you'd play, you know, a whole bunch kind of outside of the rhythmic time and a whole bunch inside. It's something you can kind of mix and match and kind of play with. And it's something that you hear a lot, especially kind of blues-oriented players. You kind of hear that pushing and pulling of the time a lot. And you know, if you ever kind of buy a tab book of certain guitar players, you know, if you, for instance, bought a Jimi Hendrix tab book and you kind of look at his solos kind of all written out and all the rhythms that are going on, it looks very complicated, and you say, wow, was Jimmy really thinking about playing groups of 9 over the beat? And the answer is no. He was just kind of playing over the time, and whoever did the transcription kind of did the best they could to kind of, you know, notate what rhythms were going on, but really that's kind of a fudge in itself. They do the best they can. You know, it's very difficult to notate this. All right, I would hate to do that, all right, because you know, the timing of that and even the little teeny bends are just almost impossible to notate. And so if you do ever look at transcriptions like that, take some of that with a grain of salt, because it's hard to duplicate everything exactly in notation that somebody is playing like that. But kind of it's two things to kind of practice. Practice playing where you're kind of pushing and pulling the time, and be sure you kind of bring it back in at some key places. And the other thing, of course, that most people need work on is playing within the rhythmic grid work. And so kind of here's something to think about. This particular background I'm going to show you, this was kind of out of a G, and I'm just going to use a basic G minor pentatonic scale here, which goes like this if you don't know it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that background on again, and if you kind of listen, first thing is, gosh, where's the beat? I'm going to play on quarter notes, and then how about eighth notes and 16th notes. It's kind of feeling where the rhythmic grid work is and then playing with that. So that's just quarter notes. How about eighth notes? Okay. 16ths. And it's just finding where the underlying, so it's just finding where the underlying current of rhythms are and start to play with that. And sometimes just working with simple ideas, you don't have to play on every single beat, but it's trying to find first, where's the graph paper? Where's the grid work that you're going to hang your rhythms on? And then try to work with playing simple things, kind of drawing simple squares within your graph paper so that you're working on playing within the timing of the song. Of course, understanding all kinds of things about rhythm helps. One thing you might check out, I do have a course called Rhythm Guitar Mastery, and even though I'm talking about lead guitar things here, everything that you would learn in that course kind of helps you understand the rhythmic grid work. Understanding rhythms is key whether you're playing rhythm guitar or you're playing lead guitar like this. So, something to check out if you really want to kind of take your understanding of rhythms to the next level and help out your lead guitar playing as well as help out your rhythm guitar playing. So, kind of work on those two things. Work within the rhythmic grid work and also work on trying to play over top of it and kind of mix and match. And I have this jam track, which is basically just going between a G7 chord and a C7 chord, and you can use that G minor pentatonic scale to kind of start with, or if you know some other things that you might play over that, kind of experiment with that. All right, have a good one.